Hi guys, Richard Smith here, Molecule Marketing, here with another episode of CRAP Marketing. And as you know, CRAP stands for C, which is certainty, R, which is results, A, which is action, and P, which is potential. So, what am I holding up here? Well, I'll try and explain it to you because you probably won't be able to see this very well on the screen. But this is basically a very thin sheet of paper which looks like a newspaper. And on Friday, went out to a client meeting, and myself and one of my business partners, David, we actually won a project which is really interesting. It's an SEO and social media management project, so very pleased about that. So afterwards we decided to go and have a sort of a short celebratory lunch, and we also had a beer. Mine was non-alcoholic, by the way. And when we went to this, it was actually a pub. It's an English pub in Warsaw. Went to the pub, ordered some food, and this was the placemat. Now it's really, really interesting, and basically the reason I want to show you this is basically because of the P in CRAP Marketing, potential. Now, this placemat is made of very, very thin paper. It looks like a newspaper. At the top here you've got the title, which is the Captain's Table, and you've got some text on here about fish and chips, about the meal fish and chips. Now also, down a little bit further, I'll try and point it to you. So just about here, we've got a jokes section, and over here on this side, we've got a word quiz, which is quite interesting. Now, when I looked at this, I thought to myself, this is really interesting. It's really great because it's actually to do with the business. It's relevant to the business, but there are some things here that are actually missing. Now, I don't want to tell you what they are. I want to have a little bit of fun and do a little bit of a quiz. So what I'm going to do, I've taken some pictures of this newspaper on my phone, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those under the Facebook Live, and I'd like you to take a look at those and then come back to me and let me know what you think is missing from this particular whatever we want to call it. We could call it a marketing piece, yeah, because that's what I looked at. You know, I was speaking to my friend David, and we were just discussing this the other day when we saw it. Our food landed on it, and straight away we thought, oh, this is interesting. You know, I've never seen anything like that before in this particular pub, and it's just something that catches the imagination. Now, if you think about it, this is like a newspaper. So you put your food on it, you think, okay, I'll move the food and I'll just have a quick read. There's some great little jokes on there which were really, really funny. So how could you use that in other businesses? Okay, it works great in a restaurant. Maybe you could do something like this in a hairdresser's or a beauty salon. So when your clients come in, they sit down at first, you give them a cup of coffee. You could have something like this. I was also thinking that if you had a bookshop, as an example, and you see lots of bookshops now that are not just bookshops, but they have you know, tables and chairs where you can grab a coffee, even. You know, you could have something like this, which could have an excerpt from a book. Place the customer's coffee down on this. They can read this, read the excerpt of the book, and then maybe at the bottom here, you could have something which says, to read the full book, go to aisle G43 or anything like that as an example. So I'm looking at this and I'm trying to think of ways that it could be used from a marketer's perspective, and I'm going to share a tip with you. Imagine if you, let's say you have a local restaurant in your local area. You're a marketer, you have a local restaurant in your local area. Let's just call it Paul's Pizza as an example. You could get 50 of these printed up with Paul's Pizza on the top. You could make your own little bit of text here. You could do your own section for jokes, your own section as a little word competition, and you could take those to that business and give them to them for free, for absolutely nothing. So what you're doing there is you're providing tremendous value. So this potential, this little sheet of paper here has the potential to bring you business. And that was the way that I looked at it when I saw it the other day. I was really quite interested, and it's just a case of like thinking about, okay, what other businesses could use something like this? How could you put a twist on it that's relevant to other businesses? So look, I hope you find this quite interesting. As I say, I'm going to put the images below the Facebook Live. Take a look at those, but just come back to me and tell me what you think is wrong with this piece of paper, because there are some things here that are incorrect, or there are things that could have been done differently, and I'm interested to see what you think. I'll wait until I get at least 20 responses. Once I've got 20 responses, then I'll respond in the comments and I'll tell you a little bit more about how I plan to use it and what I think is missing here from a marketing perspective. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Have a great Sunday. I've got my Polish lesson tomorrow, so I'm really quite looking forward to that. Getting deeper and deeper into the Polish verbs, which is quite interesting. Hey Niall, hi mate. Thanks for messaging earlier. I told Zosha about the rental prices in Ireland. She was pretty shocked. So we're going to have to look at another way. I don't know what we're going to do there. But thanks for the advice. Really appreciate it, mate. You just come on live, so take a look at the video after I've gone off, and also have a look at the images, because I think this will be really interesting for you. This is something that you could definitely do in Dublin, mate. I think it could work really well. Not sure if you've seen anything. This was actually in Legends, by the way. It was there, and it was basically placed as a food mat. Really interesting concept, and I'd be interested to see what you think, mate. What's missing from this? Because you've run a business yourself, like, you know, you've run a bar and a restaurant yourself, so you know exactly it. I think you could spot a lot of potential in this. Maybe sell it to some businesses in Dublin. So guys, thanks a lot. Again, look, have a great Saturday night. Enjoy Sunday, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. See you now.